Post it sa Google Classroom. Mahina ang audio. Anything else? Nag-record na pala siya. Okay? We don't have concerns anymore. Let us start. Okay, let's discuss the pharmacokinetics of an intravenous bolus injection. Aside from this material, I'll be posting also a material about first order kinetics and zero order kinetics. You may review that in your free time. That is just a very short na review. Okay. Now, what are our objectives for this afternoon? Let's differentiate the plasma concentration time curves after single and multiple IV bolus drug administration. And let's apply the pharmacokinetic equations of both the single and multiple doses of IV bolus to calculate various pharmacokinetic parameters. Okay, so again, let's discuss the intravenous bolus administration. I believe we are very familiar in this, no? That when we say IV bolus, we give the entire dose at a single time, okay, or at one time. Therefore, at time 0, we will also reach the maximum concentration since we give the drug directly to the vein. Okay? But syempre, the drug will undergo metabolism. So as time goes by, the amount of drug in the body will decline. It will be eliminated. And the rate of elimination will be proportional to the remaining concentration of the drug inside the body. Okay? So in this case, we will follow the first order kinetics. Okay? So that is why I told you I'll be posting also a material for you to review about the first order and zero order elimination. But a little lang na a little review. Kapag zero order kinetics, we have, if we are going to do the graph, we will obtain a linear na graph since the elimination rate of the drug is constant. However, for first order kinetics, we will have a nonlinear graph if we are going to use a graphing paper, but on a semi-log paper, we will obtain a linear na graph. Okay, so the elimination rate of the drug following the first order kinetics is dependent on the remaining amount of drug in the body, or the concentration of drug in the body. So in this case, for our IV bolus administration, we will follow the first order elimination of the drug. Okay, so we will be discussing this IV bolus injection for a single dose since this will give us the simplest picture of the pharmacokinetic profile of the drug. Okay, since wala nga tayong absorption to be considered here since the drug is directly administered in the bloodstream. Okay, so makikita natin afterwards the journey of the drug inside the body. Now, let's have this one. This is a comparison between the single and multiple dosing of IV bolus. Okay, this is the graph, the plasma concentration time curve. So on the left side, we have the single dose. I've presented that already. At time 0, we will already reach the maximum concentration since the drug is directly administered to the bloodstream, and then there will be exponential decline of the drug as time goes by due to elimination. Okay. However, on the other side, we have there the multiple dosing of the IV bolus. Okay, so we still have the first dose with the Cmax on time 0, but as time goes by, the drug will also decline. Pero, syempre, since we are going to give multiple dosing, there will be a lot of peaks and troughs in the graph. Okay, so magkakaroon ng tayo ng multiple maximum concentration also. Okay, this one is the comparison. Now, let's focus first sa IV bolus na single dosing and one compartment model. So we will treat the body as one compartment wherein if the drug is being administered, it will be homogeneously distributed all over the body right after the administration. Okay, so again, this will follow first order kinetics also. Now, what are the parameters that we need to consider for this one? We need to know the dose, syempre. We also need to know the volume of distribution, and we will have to compute for the K. That's the first elimination or first order elimination rate constant. Okay. Now, before moving on to some examples for the computation, let's have first the overview of the different equations that we are going to use. Our original equation is this one. The A represents the dose of the drug or the initial amount of drug administered to the body. Okay, so at a certain time, we have here the 80, the dose for a certain time, equals A0, that's the initial dose or the dose at time 0. Okay, times E raised to the power of KT. K is the elimination rate constant, and then we have the time. Okay, now in pharmacokinetic studies, what we are getting as a sample is usually the plasma concentration. Thus, we also need to know the concentration of the drug, okay, in the plasma. And how are we going to compute that? We may use this formula. Concentration is equal to the amount. When I say amount, I'm talking about the dose of the drug divided by the V. The V is the volume of distribution. So now, substituting these parameters to the original equation, we get this one. The concentration now at a certain time equals the concentration at 0 time, or the initial concentration, times E. That E is, it represents actually a number that is continuous, and you will find that one in your calculator. Yung E raised to the power of X. I don't know if we have the same model, but in my calculator, it's on the shift sa ln. That's the normal logarithm. Okay, so you will see that in your calculator. Pindot nyo lang yan, and then follow nyo yung values for the K, the elimination rate constant, and the time. Okay, and then for there are also problems that the initial concentration is not given, so you may use this formula. Isa-substitute natin yung dose divided by the volume. Okay, so pwede din natin yan siyang gamitin. I hope you will be familiar with the different equations that we have. Now, I will not be asking you to do a graph during the exam. I will be supplying all the necessary data for you to compute for the problems that I'll be giving you. But just to see the picture, this is how the graph looks for a first order kinetics. So yung sa left side, ano yan, yung sa normal na graphing paper, we can see the initial concentration at time 0 and the K, which determines the rate of elimination or the rate of the decline of drug from the body. But on the right side, we will get a linear na graph for first order kinetics if we are going to use a semi-log paper. So this one is the plot between the concentration in the plasma of the drug and the time also in the x-axis. Okay. So ito yung mga parameters that we need to know in studying the pharmacokinetics of the IV bolus administration. The Cmax, the Tmax, we can also see the dose here, the volume of distribution, the elimination rate constant. We can also compute for the half-life later. And then I will be adding more like the clearance of the drug. Okay, so let's have a specific example. This one is a single IV bolus administration of gentamicin. So we have here the dose, 200 milligrams, and the volume of distribution is already known. That's 20 liter. Now, before you can move on to the computation of the other parameters, definitely we need to know first the concentration, the initial plasma concentration, okay, or the concentration at zero time. So we only have this formula: concentration is equal to the dose divided by the volume. So the volume there is the volume of distribution. We have here the 200 milligrams divided by the 20 liters for the volume of distribution. This is our initial concentration of the drug, the 10 milligrams per liter. Thus, you see it sa graph, both on the left side, if we use the graphing paper, and on the right side, you can see there the semi-log plot, and we are going to use the semi-log plot to compute for the next one, and that's the KE, or the elimination rate constant. So what equation can we use to determine the KE? We have here, yung naka-bold, negative KE equals the normal logarithm of the second concentration minus the normal logarithm of the first concentration. So that's the LN in our calculators. Okay, and then divide it to the difference of the second time minus the first na time natin sa graph. So in this case, we already have the graph, and yung naka-blue, yun yung napili nating concentrations and time also. So we have here the first concentration, the 2.23 milligrams per deciliter, and then ang time niya nasa gitna, so that's 6. And then we have here the second concentration, 0.067. That's the second concentration. And yung time where we achieve this concentration is 20 hours. So we'll just have to substitute it to our formula here, to our equation, and do the math. And if you're going to try it, you may try it in your calculators. We will get this elimination rate constant. The 0.250 per hour. Okay, so yan yung magiging rate of decline of the gentamicin given the following concentration sa respective time nila. Okay, now since we have already computed for the elimination rate constant, we can move on to other computations also. So we have another one here: calculate plasma concentration at 2 hours. Okay, so pwede na natin gamitin yung ating C equals CO times E raised to the power of negative KT. Okay, ito lang, since hindi na kasi ito kinonsider na, we have actually computed for the initial concentration here, the 10 milligrams per liter. Yung sa given kasi na nilagay ko dito, hindi ko siya nilagay. So kaya kung nakikita niyo sa screen, we have here the dose and the volume of distribution. Ano siya, nilagay siya, sinubstitute siya sa formula. But then again, if we're going to compute that, we will still get the 10 milligrams per liter. And then, i-compute na lang natin siya. I-multiply natin siya sa E raised to the power of negative KET. You can try that one in your calculator. Yung sa E, ano yan siya, shift yung ln tapos negative 0.250 times 2. The time is after 2 hours. Lagyan niyo siya ng, wait lang, e raised to the power 0.250 times 2. Okay, you will get the 0.607. Lagyan niyo siya ng open and close parenthesis para sakto yung sagot. Pag wala kasi siyang open and close parenthesis after the e, hindi 0.607 yung magiging sagot. Okay? Okay, and then i-multiply mo siya again doon sa initial concentration. So, the concentration in the plasma after 2 hours ng administration will be 6.07 milligrams per liter. We can see that when we extrapolate the graph. This one here too. So, that's on the 6 milligrams per liter. Okay, so I hope nasundan yun. That's the third, I think, na computation. Okay? Now, aside from that, the volume of distribution is already given, but if you want to check for the volume of distribution, you can still use the same formula. You can substitute the D over V here sa concentration. Kaya may nakalagay dito yung 6.07, ito yung computed na plasma concentration after 2 hours. So yung time here, 2, still 2. And then 200 ang dose, and then yung hinahanap ang volume of distribution. So you will still get the same thing, the 20 liters. But why do we need the volume of distribution? We need that one to compute for the clearance of the drug. So if you're going to compute for the clearance, you may use this one. Clearance is equal to the volume of distribution times the elimination rate constant. 20 liters times 0.25. This is the computed KE already. So the clearance of gentamicin in this case is 5 liters per hour. Okay, so yan yung magiging clearance niya. And aside from all those parameters, we can also compute for the half-life. The same formula that we had ever since KE is equal, T1 half is equal to 0.693 divided by the elimination rate constant. Okay, so that's 0.693 divided by 0.25. So our elimination, our half-life here is 2.77 hours. Okay, so it's that time where half of the drug has been eliminated already and half of it remains in the body. Any question? That's it for the single dose of the IV bolus administration. Okay, again, this one follows first order kinetics or first order elimination. Let me know if you have clarifications or questions before we'll move on to the next one. So the next one will be the IV bolus pa rin, pero this time it's multiple dosing. Wala? Sige, so sa multiple dosing, syempre, we will have to administer multiple doses of the drug. But please take note na if the doses or the interval for these multiple doses are far apart from each other and yung concentration ng first dose mo is nag-decline na up to 0 talaga before you administer the next dose, then we call it independent dosing. Kasi wala namang accumulation of drug in the body. Therefore, if that is the case, we need to follow the previous computation. So since independent dosing siya, magkakaiba-iba sila ng computation. Again, kasi nga, the first dose is totally removed first in the body before the second dose. No accumulation occurs in this kind. So, balik ka doon sa single dosing mo. Okay, however, sa multiple dosing, if merong accumulation, ito yung iba na yung mangyayari dito, and then iba na din yung computation kasi meron na tayong additional thing that needs to be considered. So ito yung sa bolus, IV bolus multiple dosing, wherein we have here a lot of peaks. Also, we have a lot of maximum concentration. We can see here the first dose, that's 250. Okay, that's times 0, and then the drug will be eliminated from the body, but it will not reach 0. Magbibigay ka na ng next dose mo. Okay, so syempre mas mataas yung maximum concentration because of the sum of the new dose na binigay mo and yung remaining drugs sa body. So yan yung i-consider natin kasi merong drug accumulation here. Okay? So hindi totally na-remove ang drug from the body before mo, before mo binigay yung iyong next dose. So since meron tayong additional things to be considered, mag-iiba din yung ating computation. So hindi na natin gagamitin yung usual natin ginagamit since undergrad. We have here the plasma concentration for a certain dose equal sa S. S is still the salt correction factor. If it is not given in the problem, that is automatically 1. And then for the F, we have here the bioavailable factor or the bioavailability factor. And since this is IV bolus, automatic also this is equal to 1. Okay, so again, this is equal to 1 automatically since we have 100% bioavailability for intravenous administration. Okay. Wait lang. And then, we have here the D, that is the dose. I-multiply natin siya sa 1 minus, we still have the E. That's the same E we have in the calculator. And then raised to the power of negative N represents the number of the last dose since we have multiple dosing here. And then K is still the elimination rate constant. And then i-multiply natin siya sa dosing interval. Okay, so the time between the first dose and the second dose. Okay, and then divide it sa, we still need the volume of distribution, that's the VD. And then i-multiply siya sa 1 minus E raised to the power of negative K, that's the elimination rate constant times the dose interval. Okay? Tapos, i-multiply pa siya sa E raised to the power of K. And then this time, the T here is the time. Okay? It's the time. So, itong isa dito, it's not really a T, no, but that's the dosing interval. What do you call that? I forgot. Anyway, that's the dosing interval. Okay. So, aside from that formula, please consider also the following formula. Let's use the formula sa baba kasi complicated na yung mga nasa taas. Yung sa baba, these two are used to calculate the maximum concentration at a certain dose or N dose, number of dose. And then we also have the minimum concentration. So ginagawa natin ito kasi if we are going to go back to the plasma time curve for multiple dosing, marami tayong peaks, marami tayong maximum concentration as well as minimum concentration. Kada dose may Cmax and merong Cmin. Okay, so yan, kino-compute din natin yan. Okay, so asan na yan? So please be familiar also Do not be confused because for the maximum concentration, it's the same actually with the previous, this one, except for this part here. Okay, so again, I cannot annotate why. Okay, except for this part here. Ayan, so tanggalin natin yan. You can get the maximum concentration. Okay? And then, yung ating minimum concentration naman is actually similar to the um, previous na computation, but you have to compute first for the Cmax and then i-multiply mo na lang siya sa negative, sa e raised to the power of negative kT. Okay, you will get the minimum concentration. So let's have an example para makita natin yung paano siya ginagawa, paano natin ito kino-compute. So we have here multiple intravenous bolus injections of a drug. The dose is 250 milligrams. In-administer ito every 8 hours. So that is our dosing interval. The drug has the following parameters also. The salt correction factor is 1. And then VD is the volume of distribution. This time it's 30 liters. I will be giving this sa mga sample problems. K is the elimination rate constant. That's 0.1 per hour. And then again, our dosing interval is 8 hours. So what is the question here? The plasma concentration 3 hours after the second dose. Okay? So, iba na yun ha, kasi kanina diretso na. Pag after IV bolus, single dosing lang siya, i-compute na natin agad ano yung magiging plasma concentration after sa isang oras or after 2 hours. This time, meron tayong kailangang i-consider. Merong time, 3 hours, but this time, i-check pa natin kung pang ilang dose yun, no? This time, it's on the second dose, tapos 3 hours after giving that. Ano yung magiging plasma concentration ng drug? Okay, so let's substitute this data in our formula. We have here the concentration of the drug 3 hours after the second dose is equal to yung S and the F, since pareha silang 1, inumit na, no? Kaya nagdiretso na tayo sa dose 250. Okay, 250 milligrams yung ating dose. Tapos, i-multiply natin sa 1 minus E raised to the power of negative 2. Yung negative 2 na yan, yan yung N. That's the number of dose. Okay? So, second dose na kasi. Times K, 0.1 per hour yon. And then our dosing interval, that's 8. Okay, divided by, sa baba, VD is 30 liters. And then, i-multiply natin sa almost this same na equation or the formula, except that wala na dito yung N. Diretso ko na sa K and sa dosing interval. And then, i-multiply mo siya sa, again, sa E raised to the power of negative K, that's 0.1, times this time, the T here is the time. Kasi diba, 3 hours after the second dose. Okay? Now, if you are going to do the math in your calculator, please bring your calculators during the exam. 3 hours after the second dose, the plasma concentration of the drug is 8.96 milligrams per liter. Again, yung E dyan, nasa taas ng ln, the normal logarithm. So, i-shift nyo lang. Shift ln and then you will get the E. Pero lagyan nyo siya ng open and close parenthesis para you will get the correct answer. Okay, but you may also explore your calculators because I don't know if like we have the same model. Okay, and then letter B, aside from that, we will be asked also to compute for the peak and the trough, the Cmax and the Cmin. Okay, the maximum concentration and the minimum concentration during the second dose. So almost the same formula except for the yung nandito sa last e raised to the power of negative kp. Kp yun siya ha. Ito, tanggalin natin yun. We will be computing for the Cmax. Okay? So, substitute the same values. Our maximum concentration for the second dose will reach 12.1 milligrams per liter. And then, pag i-compute natin yung minimum na concentration for our second dose, pwede na natin i-multiply diretso Cp max times negative e raised to the power of negative k. Hindi ito t yung sa time ha. Ano ito, the dosing interval. Okay? So, again, the result will be 5.4 milligrams per liter. Okay? So, for this type of drug, on the second dose, yung 250 milligrams yung administer, di ba? On the second dose, the concentration will reach 12.1 as the highest and then 5.4 yung pinakamababa niya na concentration sa plasma. But after, like 3 hours after the second dose, you will have this plasma concentration, the 8.96. Okay? So, I hope you will be familiar with the different formula natin. That is for the multiple dosing IV bolus na injection. Okay? Now, itong IV bolus administration sa multiple dosing follows the principle of superposition. Okay? So, itong principle of superposition actually treats the total amount of the drug in the body as the sum of the new dose of drug that you administer plus yung remaining na drug na hindi pa na-eliminate from the previous dose or from the previous administration. Pero we need to consider na we can just follow the principle of superposition as long as the disposition processes are also linear. Okay? So, nagpa-follow ng first order kinetics. And when I say disposition processes, syempre this involves the distribution of the drug after administration, metabolism, as well as excretion. Okay? Again, the principle of the superposition is not applicable if these processes are non-linear. Okay? Because again, we treat na yung amount ng drug na nasa body natin, yung sum lang naman ng na-eliminate na and yung bagong dose na in-administer. Therefore, if we are going to double the dose of the drug, the concentration inside will be doubled also. Okay? Yun siya, the principle of superposition. Now, to have an example for that, another one is we have here the drug administered as 64 milligram dose every half-life. So the dosing interval is during every half-life of the drug. So kaya meron kayong nakikita dito at dose number 1, we have here 64 milligrams. That's the dose of the drug. And then syempre after half-life, kalahati na lang yung matitira. But since this is multiple dosing, we'll be administering the next dose. So kaya 32 plus 64, we have here 96. Okay? And then syempre ma-eliminate na naman yung drug. After half-life, kalahati na lang yung maiiwan. So meron ditong accumulation of the drug, mga 32 milligrams yung ma-accumulate niya. All in all. Okay? Next, mag-administer naman ng next dose. So we have here plus 64 na naman. So we have 112. Okay? And then mag-eliminate na naman ng 1/2. So 56 na lang ang may iwan. So we have here accumulation between peaks. Okay? So ito yung mga peaks nila, 'di ba? From 96, magiging 112 na naman yung peak after the next dose because again, we have the principle of superposition. Pero kung nakikita ninyo sa screen, we have here the accumulation between peaks will be reduced as we move on with the succeeding doses. There will be lesser accumulation of drug with each dose na binibigay natin. Okay? Hanggang mag-zero na yan siya. Okay? Meaning no further accumulation occurs. And thus, steady state is achieved. Okay? So, bumababa yung difference between the peaks as we move on with the next doses hanggang magsisiro siya. Again, pag nag-zero na yan, meaning yan, wala nang na-accumulate na drug. Even if magdadagdag ka pa ng dose, mag-move on ka sa 8th dose or sa 9th dose, ganun pa rin yung mangyayari. Because just like this one, diba 127, tapos kalahati yung ma-eliminate, that's 63.5, and then magdagdag ka na naman ng 64, hanggang paulit-ulit na yan siya, magsi-zero na yan siya. Okay? So pag nag-zero, steady state concentration is achieved. So if we are going to look at the graph, ito yung sa accumulation na sa multiple dosing hanggang nag-reach na sa steady state. So this is the first dose here, bumaba, nagbigay ka ng second dose, tumaas na naman, nag-eliminate na naman, and then we have the third dose, hanggang walang accumulation na ng drug ang nangyari, steady state na siya. So sa steady state, ibang computation na naman yon. Okay? Kasi nga, wala na yung principle of superposition na i-add mo yung like naiwan. I mean, andun pa rin naman naiwan and then yung idagdag mo pero wala na siya kasing accumulation. So, iba na yung computation natin when it comes to the maximum concentration and the minimum concentration. Kung hindi pa kasi na-reach yung steady state, as you can see, mas magkakaiba-iba yung Cmax and Cmin ng bawat dose na binigay. Okay? So, ano yung magiging formula natin dito? Ito kasing dito sa taas, N is the number of doses na. Kahit na mag-increase kasi tayo ng number of doses, magzi-zero lang din kasi siya. So, kaya nawala na yan siya sa computation sa steady state. So, ito na yung magiging computation natin for a steady state IV bolus. Okay? So, S times F times D. So, usually this is 1. So, usually ang naiiwan sa taas is just the dose divided by the VD times 1 minus E raised to the power of negative K times the dosing interval times E raised to the power of K times T. Okay, so magkaiba ito ha. This is the dosing interval. This one here is the time. Okay, so we can also compute for the Cmax. Pag may nakalagay Cmax SS, that's the maximum concentration at steady state. So pag na-reach na natin yung steady state ng drug or concentration ng drug sa body natin. Okay, and then iba din yung computation sa Cmin. Okay, minimum concentration at steady state. Actually, it's almost the same with the previous na formula. Wala lang yung dito sa taas. Okay, so S times F times D pa rin and then divided by VD times 1 minus negative E raised to the power of K times the dosing interval. Nawala yung karugtong dito na E. Okay? Tapos kung na-compute na natin yung maximum concentration, pwede tayong magdiretso sa minimum concentration. Yung result ng Cmax, i-multiply natin sa E raised to the power of negative K times the dosing interval. So yung next slide niyan is an example for the computation. Ganyan siya. IV multiple dosing. This is actually a continuation of the previous problem. So we have here the dose is still 250 milligrams. The volume of distribution is 30 liters. And then the given na elimination rate constant is 0.1 per hour. And then the dosing interval is still 8 hours. So if you want to check ano yung magiging maximum concentration at steady state, we'll follow this formula, the same data na isa-substitute dyan and compute. So we have here the maximum concentration at steady state will reach up to 15.1 milligrams per liter. Yung sa second dose kanina, if you can still remember, that's 12 point something na 12.1 I think milligrams per liter. Okay, and then if we're going to compute for the minimum concentration, i-multiply natin yung result, the 15.1 doon sa e raised to the power of 0.1, negative 0.1, that's the k, and then times 8 the dosing interval. So yung minimum concentration ng drug sa body kapag na-reach na yung steady state as we move on with the doses natin, multiple dosing, is 6.8 milligrams per liter. Okay? That's how you compute. Okay, so that's it for this afternoon. I hope i-familiarize niyo yung mga equation kasi magbibigay ako ng problem solving for the final exam aside from the multiple choices and the essay. Okay? And then I'll be giving you a seat work. I have posted, I think, already sa classwork. Okay. Doon sa Google Classroom, and then I'll add pa some problems for you to practice for both the single and the multiple dosing sa IV bolus. Computations of the different parameters. Okay, medyo mahaba lang talaga for the multiple dosing kasi syempre maraming doses yon, maraming things that need to be considered. Itong seatwork na nakalagay dito, ano yan siya? Yan din yung nakalagay sa Google Classroom. Okay? So any question or clarification? Again, I'll be sending you a copy of the recording. Excuse me. October 5. Okay. Let me check. Hindi ko pala yun siya na-post. Let me check sa October 5. And yes, I'll also give this one, the copy of this one. I need to end the conference first before I can have the copy of the recorded video. So, after na lang sa pag-end. And then, hanapin ko yung October 5. Hindi ko siya na-post. Yung sa pointers sa exam, yun lang dalawa. Factors affecting absorption. I have given already the PPT, right? And then this one. IV bolus, both single and multiple dosing. Yun siya. Anything else?
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon, yes.
Regarding po sa schedule, ma'am, we have discussed po as a class na if ever, ayun na yun, yung chinat ni ma'am dyan na if on Saturday final exam, can we take your exam on an earlier schedule so we can avoid delays or flight back home? Thank you.
Ano pala nakalagay na schedule? Di ko nakita.
Ano yung as proposed pa ni nung pinost ni Doc Preta is whole day, ma'am, and then same nung last time is compressed man yun, ma'am, di ba, na half day. We're hoping sana, ma'am, na half day kasi some of us is after exam diretso na kami airport.
So hindi siya like half day just like last time. Bakit whole day? Mahabang time? Hindi ko nakita yung schedule. Hindi pa ata na-set sa amin.
Yes.
Mahaba ang time?
I think may ano kasi para may seminar in between. So, kaya nilang ginawang whole day. Seminar, parang mental health survey, parang ganun.
Oh, okay. Let me ask first kay Ma'am ano nito ha. Brieta nito. Kasi I was not informed pa. I mean, may nagsabi sa akin pero hindi ko siya maalala. Hindi ko siya masyado picture out kasi hindi ko nakita yung schedule. Pero let me ask this first and then I'll contact you after. Right. Uuwi pa pala kayo. 3 to 6. 3 to 6 pa lang.
Will you be in Davao, ma'am?
Ha?
Will you be in Davao on that day?
Check ko din kung nasa Davao ako niyan. Pero I think so. Titingnan ko. Pero kung nasa Davao ako, let's try to arrange the exam.
Sige po, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Anything else? Para masend ko kaagad.